So, lads, today we're going to be talking about the WNBA draft lottery and how it could legitimately change everything. The draft lottery has the potential to change everything. Everything for the WNBA coming into next season. Because of some of the teams that are in that lottery. Teams that are in the lottery are Seattle, Minnesota, and then Dallas is a really interesting one. And if you're wondering why Dallas is an interesting one, it's because of all the rookie contracts they have. Dallas can come into next year. Let's just say, hypothetically, the salary cap is... I'm just going to get a calculator. Let's just say they end up... They're probably going to get to a 1.1 million max contract. We can just... I would assume that's going to happen with an average of 400... With an average of, I think it was 440k or something. So 440,000... by 12 on the roster. I don't think they're going to get 14. So it's about 5.3 million in their salary cap. Paige Bueckers, JJ Quinterly, Lou Lopez Seneschal, Isaiah James, Maddie Siegrist combined are under, I think they're under 400k combined. That gives them 5 million to spend on their last 7 players. And with a minimum with a rookie contract number 1 pick, they could have that 5 and a young player and one of these young players and have, I shit you not, 5 max contracts. The Dallas Wings may have 5 max contracts to give out next year. If the salary cap is what I'm guessing it's going to be, they might have 5 max contracts. And that is, that's absolutely unheard of. It's ludicrous. 5 max is effing crazy. And that is something that they might have. So we have to think about that. But also, if you're looking here, you've got Olivia Miles, who would be a perfect point guard to have beside Paige Bueckers. You have got the perfect center to have beside Paige Bueckers here. You have got Paige Bueckers, a good shooting guard to have by Paige. I still think AZ Foot and Paige both excel better off the ball. But you've got Paige Bueckers' literal girlfriend. She shouldn't be in the top 5. And then Flaw J is the most dynamic scorer who I don't think fits in. But then you've got Minnesota. So Minnesota are the opposite. They've got a really good team. They've got a lot of good players, but you're not going to be able to afford to keep Courtney Williams, Natisha Heidemann, Alana Smith, and Bridget Carlton. So it's who do you give up on? Depending on where you go in the draft, if you think, you know what, we're going to have to pay Courtney Williams a max. We can get all the others under a max. Okay. We need a dynamic 1-2 hybrid. That's where we get Flaw J. Johnson. We can go and get another player in there to go and play true point guard, maybe bring her off the bench for a year. But we've suddenly got Flaw J. Johnson then. And that looks really good. Lauren Best shouldn't be in the top 5. There's no point talking about her. Then you've got maybe, look long-term, as a center beside Fee, the perfect center in Shara Reeve's system in Awafam. And AZ Foot is a perfect Shara Reeve player too. And then you can just get your true point guard in Olivia Moss. Any of these 4 would really suit Minnesota, who are also near the top and are also looking like they could go and win. And looking like they could win a championship. The Washington Mystics, man, the Mystics have the least chance, but they have their squad, They have their squad. They've got, the Mystics, if realistically, the Mystics are going Olivia, if they got number 1, you're probably taking Olivia Miles. You've got Kiki Iriafen. She doesn't necessarily fit. You've got Sonia Citron. She doesn't necessarily fit. You've got Kiki Iriafen. You got rid of Jade Melbourne. Obviously, you got rid of, what's her name for a pick? You got rid of Sykes for, the 9th pick in the draft. And, look, the 9th pick isn't going to be a bad pick in this draft. So you got rid of Sykes for 9, and then you're going to be in one of those top 5s. So Olivia Moss falling into your lap solves your point guard problem. I like Shook Sutton, but Shook Sutton's not that good. The Chicago Sky, I don't know. Whoever you get you're probably until you move. The Chicago Sky, the most important thing for the Chicago Sky is that they figure out what the fuck they're doing with Angel Reese. they figure out what to do with Angel Reese. And that's not on a personal thing. I say that's not a basketball thing because I like Angel Reese as a player. I just got to figure out what to do with her. Like, if you get rid of Angel Reese, then you're going to need someone to put butts in seats. That's where Flau'jae comes in. If you're keeping Angel Reese, that's where AZ comes in. That's where you draft AZ. If the plan is to start to keep Sloot, maybe you just get mini Sloot in her. Like, if you're the Sky, you don't. If you're getting rid of, and I don't think you touch Awafam if you're the Chicago Sky. And then if you're the Seattle Storm, you're a team where you can either go high upside and get Awafam and just say, screw it, I don't necessarily care that much about Ezi Magbagor. Or you could say, you know what, I'm going to go and get Ezi Magbagor. We're going to go and keep Ezi Magbagor. So not get him, Ezi Magbagor. We're going to keep Ezi Magbagor. We're going to keep Malonga. And then we're going to go young. And we're going to get rid of Neka. The problem is that you can't really run it back if you're Seattle. Because you don't really have the money. If you're going to run it back, though, you're probably losing Magbagor. And you're starting Malonga. You're starting Neka. You're starting... Sykes is going to be gone. You're starting Gabby Williams. And if that's the case, you bring in AZ. You've got your creation. You just need your shooter. You bring in AZ. Even at number 1. If you're going to go and tear it down, you bring in either Awa or Flau'jae. You probably bring in Flau'jae. I don't think it's a situation where you bring in Awa. Because Ezi Magbagor, Malonga, and you can bring in Flau'jae if you're going to tear it down and not bring those players back. And then same if you want to run the 1. Any of these 4 players, depending on who the teams are and what they want to do, can be franchise-altering talents. They can be players that can be... Like, AZ Fudd is one of those players where I think she is I think she's a ceiling raiser, not a floor raiser. Like, AZ Fudd, I think you simultaneously, when you're drafting with AZ Fudd, like, I think you don't take AZ Fudd necessarily at number 1 because I think it's hard to justify AZ Fudd as a number 1 draft pick because what does she project to be? A spot-up shooter. A worse version of Kayla McBride. And Kayla McBride's better, is a lot bigger, stronger, and aggressive than AZ Fudd. But like a similar Kayla McBride player. And what does she project as? She is a complete... She could be the best center in the game. What she might project at is a mixture between... I don't mean this is the greatest player of all time, but a mixture between Aaliyah Boston and A'ja Wilson. As in having the footwork of A'ja with the passing of Aaliyah Boston and the kind of game of A'ja just doesn't have the aggressiveness that puts A'ja Wilson over the top. But she projects as someone who could be a top 2 or 3 center. She projects as Tiara McCowan, so let's just ignore that one. And Olivia Miles projects as the next Chelsea Gray. So you've got all these players where it's like, if you want to go upside and take the player that has by far the highest upside in the draft, you get Awafam. If you want to take the player that has the potential to put butts in seats and be your franchise, the face of your franchise, you take Flau'jae Johnson. If you want to take a point guard who's able to facilitate and able to get other people involved, which is a rare breed, especially now with a Chelsea guy can't even run, you take Olivia Miles. If you want to take arguably the best knockdown spot-up shooter in women's basketball right now, you take AZ Fudd. And the amount of people saying AZ Fudd's the best shooter in the world in basketball, period, that is a fucking crazy statement. That is a crazy statement to make. Like, it's nothing to do with the gender. It's that literally there are like better shooters in the WNBA. Like, there are near 50% 3-point shooters in the WNBA. Like, Leo Phoebe, she's a better shooter than her. But and then you've got Tiara McCowan. So look, if a team takes Tiara McCowan at number 1, they deserve to get nothing out of it. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it, lads. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who do you guys think wins? And if you're looking at the draft odds, there's a 5% chance for the Sky, a 9% chance for the Mystics, 16% chance for the Storm, 26% for the Lynx, and 42% for the Wings. I'll talk a little bit about the entire draft later on today, but yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, I'll see you guys.